Are we live? And maybe I think we are. Welcome and shalom, everybody. We're live on this Monday night, June 5th, 2023. It's now 9:39 p.m. Central Time where I'm at. Hope you all had a wonderful day. Just getting my camera set up here. There we go. All right. Coming soon. That's what we're going over tonight. What we're going to be covering in the next, what we'll be studying. There we go. That's weird. It's kind of angled anyway. That's the way it's supposed to be. So, yes, coming soon. We are going to talk about that tonight. And I hope everybody had a wonderful Monday. It was a beautiful Minnesota day. Wonderful day. Got a lot done. Always happy about that. Getting tired, though. But yeah, I worked hard today. Still working on the garden. Hoping to get my carrots in tomorrow. I think that should be no problem. Got the box ready. Things are watered, and I got some couple tomatoes coming in already. I got 2 boxes of cucumbers in, and we'll see how those go. 2 different kinds. Trying 2 different kinds this year. And all kinds of stuff. So anyway, I hope you all had a wonderful day. I certainly did. I'm always happy when I get a lot done. So anyway, I did get a lot done today. So that is weird. It's kind of crooked. Anyway, we'll talk about what's coming soon. What we're going to be starting tomorrow night. We're starting a new. Man, all of a sudden I'm getting tired because I'm just sitting down here. Kind of been running all day, and once I sit down, wow, it just kind of hits me. I get tired. Anyway, but the yard is looking great. Everything in the garden looking awesome. My plants are doing good, so I'm super happy. And things are coming right along. But it is a lot of work. I start out there right away in the morning and work till the mosquitoes are just chewing me alive. They're bad. Probably the worst year I've ever remembered it. All I have to do is step into the shade and you get chewed up in the daytime. Nighttime, you can't even go out there. Can't even go out there. Just too bad. Unless you want to put bug spray on that's poison and toxic to your system, which I choose not to. So I do have some. Sometimes I'll put it on my shoes or my clothes. I spray a little bit on the dogs and they're getting chewed up. But man, they're bad. Vicious little things, I'll tell you that. So anyway, yes, we're going to go over some upcoming studies. And that's about it. I'm in the middle of doing laundry right now, so it's probably going to buzz any minute. If you hear buzzing, that's what that is. Boy, I got bugs in here. I got mosquitoes came in from outside. I got a yellow bug light on inside my porch, and it's supposed to keep the bugs away. Yellow light. I don't know. I think they kind of like it, actually. And here comes Bosco. Hey, Bosco, how you doing? Now, Bosco, he's the one that I thought he lost his eye a few months ago. I think it was in March. He came back limping and he was all cut up. And I don't know if a hawk got him. I don't know if he got in a fight. I don't know what happened. Chunks missing all over him. But he came back limping after missing for many days. And And he just now opened up his eye because it looked like it was just a. I thought it was missing. Anyway, his eye is now opening up, and he does have an eyeball still. I don't know if you can see out of it, but he does still have an eyeball. So it just opened up after 3 months, I think, of being shut. Anyway, he still has his eye. I didn't think so, but it's still there. Anyway, so that's the plan. Boy, I'm just like hey Grace, how you doing? As soon as I sat in this chair, man, I get sleepy. It's like run, run, run. I just got chewed up alive outside, man. The mosquitoes are vicious little monsters. Oh, relentless. Anyway, beautiful. All of a sudden, it just cooled down into the 70s. Just beautiful outside. But yeah, a little too many mosquitoes out there. How was your day, Grace? Did you have a good day? I had a wonderful day. I got a lot done, and my gardens are coming along. I just hey John, how you doing tonight? Praise be to God. Hooray for Bosco. Yeah, good to see you, John. I like that picture. Oh, I still got to email you for that picture. I totally forgot. Yeah, he still has his eyeball. He still has his eyeball. I don't know if you can see out of it. I tried to pry it open a couple months ago, and I didn't think there was an eyeball in there. So anyway, I'm glad to see there is one. And he's a super happy cat. He's always got purring. He purrs constantly. Anyway, good to see you, John. Yes, mosquitoes in here. Little monsters. Anyway. Yeah, so tonight we're gonna go over our upcoming studies. We're gonna start on tomorrow night. I've been thinking about what would be a good start to start studying some other books, and I have decided I think it would be good to start with Roman gods, the Greek gods, of Rome. The Greek gods, because that is where I think people would, if everybody studied the Greek gods and Rome and all that, they would understand where a lot of the New Testament is, taken from. Bosco's getting a little crazy. Yeah, he's just all over me. Hey, you want to say hi to everybody? Would you like to say hi? Would you like to say hi? Oh, better to be around Bosco than most. Yeah, right? Yeah. It's pretty brutal. And you know what? You know what's a funny thing? And I can't remember something. It's a Paul thing. I could look it up right now, but I was on a live stream. I don't know, a few days ago, maybe 3 or 4 days ago. Oh, come on, Bosco, you're getting all crazy now. I was on a live stream a few days ago, and it was from the First Amendment auditing community, whatever. It's the auditors or whatever. Anyway, they said, "What's up with Christians? Why do they hate having fun?" I never even comment on these chats. I mean, I just listen to it. I think it's fun. I don't know. I like learning stuff anyway. I like just listening, and I never comment. But I was reading the comments, and they saying something about some hypocrite Christian guy came in and throwing his Christian stuff around. And they said, some people in the chat were talking about Christians. They said, how come Christians hate having fun? Why do they hate having fun? And that's a good question. But there's actually there is a Bible verse that says, in the fruits of the Spirit, and religiosity, no fun allowed. Yeah. So Anyway, Paul said in the fruits of the Spirit, joy, patience, and all that stuff. And it says, of this, there is no law against it. So it says right there, there's no law against joy and happiness and having fun. It says right there's no law against it. Anyway, no, you can't have fun. You have to hate everybody, hate everyone. That guy on here, Wesley, was a side. I know, John. You know what's weird? I blocked him. He came on and he was threatening me and Tom when Tom was on. It was been like 2 years ago. But anyway, I blocked the guy. But when I unblocked everybody, he must have got unblocked. Anyway, he came back. But yeah, he threatened to kill us. And then he turned his camera on and he was drinking out of a bottle. Like, you know how in those movies, like the winos, they have like they're drinking out of a bottle, but the bag is still around the bottle. Like, anyway. So I think you might have a drinking problem. Anyway, but he threatened to kill us, so I blocked him. And that's not even like the first time he threatened to kill us, but after like a bunch of times, then I blocked him. And anyway, he came back, and I'm pretty sure he's blocked again. So, and there's a lot of mosquitoes in here. And I don't want to swat them because I just painted, and someone threatened me too in person. Really? A Christian? Because nobody knows what's in that paper. Yeah, you see, if you put a paper bag on it, then nobody knows that you're drinking a bottle. They just think that you're maybe eating some peanuts out of the bottom of the bag or something. Yeah, nobody knows. They'll think it's like root beer or Fresca or something. Recently, John, is this a new? It is kind of crazy. I know people are kind of cream puffs too. You gotta really like walk on eggshells around people because yeah, anyway. Yeah, I can't wait to tell you guys about this weird court case that I somehow got involved in. And not mine, a different one. I just got bit by a mosquito on the top of my head. I got it. Oh, and I had like 3 wood ticks on me. And one was tiny, 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 and that's no good. A few weeks ago, somebody threatened you. About what? Huh. Well, was it a wand? WOND. Was it Mark Hardy? Oh man. I gotta plug my phone in before why does my phone not work? Well, that is the plan. That's weird. My charger. Oh, it's not plugged in. So that is the plan. We're going to just go over tonight about what we're going to start studying tomorrow. A new chain of studies. Wand. WOND. Hold on a second. He's getting stranger by the day. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a street preacher. Oh, really? Aggressive, huh? Were you told that you're going to burn in hell forever, John? And did that make you believe everything he said then? You're going to burn in hell. Oh, okay. All right. I believe you now. I believe you now. So what's up with Mark Hardy's bunkhouse? I don't know. There might be somebody tied up in it. I'm not sure. Did you pay your tithes, John? I need a paper clip. Hold on a second. Means I gotta move my chair back. Okay, so here's with the bunkhouse. All right, so when Mark left the country all of a sudden with a whole bunch of money of somebody else's and very suspicious circumstances, right after he left and went to Israel, Cynthia put up a video saying that she freaked out, actually blacked out, because she went out to the bunkhouse and the bunkhouse was locked. And they've never locked it. She doesn't even own keys or carry keys or whatever. So she had to go get keys, and then she saw a whole bunch of things that shouldn't have been the way that they were. And anyway, she blacked out in anger of something about the bunkhouse. Then when Mark comes back, he will not go into the bunkhouse to do his laundry. He makes up a bunch of lies why he's at the laundromat. But he's been doing laundry for months at the laundromat. Now Cynthia won't go in the bunkhouse either. She's doing laundry at the laundromat. How does this make sense? As a matter of fact, I just went to a laundromat today. Okay. $7 for each wash. And that was actually cheap because I go to a really small town up here. And then I bring it home because I have a dryer. But a washer and dryer doesn't fit in the room. It has to be a stacking. So anyway, right now I only have a dryer because a washer and dryer a side by side won't fit. So I have to just wash. But up till before that, I did the wash and dry. So I'm going to tell you, it is expensive. I still use the wash because I'm trying to get a stacking washer and dryer. It's just I don't have the money for it. So right now I'm doing what I've got to do. I got to go to the laundromat to wash, dry at home. So today I was at the laundromat and it's $7 to wash. And I know that it's like $3 or $4 to dry. So you're talking $10 a load. All right. So 2 loads is $20. And just 2 loads, $20. It's not like $1.50 like it used to be, because I've been going for years. Anyway, so $10 a load. They're both doing their laundry every week at the laundromat rather than at home where they have a brand new washer and dryer. That runs perfectly in running order. All of a sudden, they won't go in the bunkhouse. I don't know what's up with the bunkhouse. That's what. You tell me what's in the bunkhouse. John, have you ever heard the confession video? It's interesting. Something about him and some other guy locking a girl in a little tiny place and blocking the windows out and torturing her and killing her. You ever hear that video he did? I got it on recording. Anyway, makes me wonder about that bunkhouse. You know what I mean? I don't know. And then all of a sudden, yeah, all kinds of things. Anyway, so he uses the extra large machines, which here those machines are $12. Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah, you can get a $12 machine when you get the big ones. Yeah. That's 24 for the wash plus the dry. That's $30. I'm talking, dude. I'm just doing. I used two $7 machines today. Yeah, the ones he uses are $12. So the two of them is 24. I'm telling you, it's $30, 20 to $30 to go to do a couple loads. You're right. Wash or dry. Not to mention it's expensive to drive several hours every day to do your laundry, go to eat out, buy groceries, whatever else, waste money and then drive home. Yeah. Well, it's over $100 a day on food. He says it's 25 in the morning for breakfast. First he eats his oatmeal and stuff that just to get to the breakfast, and he 25 at breakfast. Then he eats at either Panera, Applebee's, or something for lunch, and that's another 25. And he gets $75 a day at the grocery store. So now you're at 125 just for food alone a day. And then he fills at least one or two tanks, $30 tanks of gas. That's $200 a day right there. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I'm so careful with money that, I just can't even believe it. Like $100, dude, that would last me 2 weeks of food, you know what I mean? Well, at least because yeah, that's including the dogs, you know what I mean? So, yeah, crazy. Wasteful. And what was the sins of Sodom? Sins of Sodom and Gomorrah: gluttony and wastefulness, and having everybody wait on them hand and foot so they didn't have to do anything. I mean, sound familiar? Sound familiar? Yeah, just wastefulness. That was the sins of Sodom right there. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention about the sins of Sodom and Gomorrah? About that when they wanted to rape the angels, rape was not a homosexual act. When a man wanted to rape another man, just like in prison, it's not because you're a homosexual. The rape is a power. It's a form of control and power. You know what I mean? Dominance and control. And that's what it was. That was their sin. It wasn't that they were homosexuals even. You know what I mean? So anyway. So I'm gonna just flip through some of these, a few of these pages here that I have. Now, I was thinking, okay, so tomorrow we'll be starting a Roman. There's my mosquitoes in here. And then he complains about other people blowing money. Yeah, or how much gas somebody's wasting on their motorhome that they work hard for. Just the hypocrisy is unbelievable. So at some point way down the road, after all this, I want to do this Mesopotamian text. These are like the first texts ever written. Oh wait, I don't even have the camera on. Get that back on there. It says there's one, but I see two of you talking. That's crazy. Why is this not on? All right, these Mesopotamian texts, letters Mesopotamia. I'd like to go over those sometime in the future. And then also the gods of Mesopotamia, ancient Mesopotamian gods. But first, I thought we would start with Roman gods and goddesses. Let's see. The big ones. I think there's a big definitely conquest. Yeah, exactly. That's what they did. Once they conquered their enemy, they raped the men and stripped them of their clothes and sent them home naked and raped. And that's exactly what they said in 2 Samuel, what they did. Cut their garments at their waists and sent them home buck naked. Well, it was very common for them to rape them, and that was a form of conquest. That's why it would be less of an insult to rape the girls than it would be the guys, and especially strange flesh would be doing it with the angels. And you know what's funny? It just dawned on me today when I was cutting grass. It dawned on me that, you hear all these Christians that say, "Oh, I don't want to listen to the Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch's not true." Well, you know what? It's funny because Jude quotes word for word out of Enoch, the clouds without water and all that stuff. All that stuff, ungodly, being ungodly people, doing ungodly things and ungodliness and all that, word for word out of Enoch. So it's funny, you'll believe and read Jude, who's quoting straight from Enoch, but you don't want to read Enoch. I mean, anyway. And by the way, you know what else I thought today? What else came to my mind? You know what? You know what blows the whole Enoch thing? You know what blows the whole fallen angels theory? Do you know what blows the whole Satan fell from heaven? Do you know what blows all that right out of the water? Like the nail in the coffin for all that? Is that the angels and Satan, Hasatan or whatever, and all the angels don't have free will. Period. They don't have free will. That's why Satan had to ask everything and what he get directions from God when he went after Job. Angels don't have free will. Say Hasatan doesn't have free will. None of them had free will. So how can they rebel against God? Makes no sense. Anybody tell me, how can you rebel against God if you don't have free will? I hope the lot lizards gang up on MH and give him a taste of his own. Me too, John. You know what? Oh, I'd love to hear what the police were telling Mark or Cynthia. I mean, they said, called her and said your old man's off the leash here. So yeah, yep. I think they're not taking his gift cards anymore. They're not taking Arby's cards and Hardee's and Dairy Queen cards anymore. And Mark, I'm sure he's mad about all that. Hookers need to be paid cash. You know what I mean? And there's only so many Dairy Queen cards they can take. You know what I mean? Anyway, what are you gonna do? So, yeah, that's probably why he suddenly started complaining about fast food. Yeah. Well, he eats most of those cards and then gives out one on camera, and then we saw one time at the checkout, she gave him $200 to go get gift cards, and then he runs into her unexpectedly at the checkout at the store that he never goes to, and oh, hey, there's Cynthia. He's caught off guard, and he goes, trying to explain to her that well, I only had 150, so anyway, somehow $50 got lost from where he left the house to here. He spent it, and she's like, yeah, okay, yeah. So that's how with the cards, Okay, so he gets 10 cards for $15 a piece. You give out one on camera to a guy, and then she thinks they all went to somebody, when really he eats the other 9. I mean, not hard math, kindergarten math, kindergarten math. Anyway, so I'm gonna go. Yeah. All right. Like I said, have you ever gone on vacation and you go and you eat out for like a week straight? You come home and you gain 10 pounds from eating out and not eating normal and not cooking your own food and all that. You gain a bunch of weight just going for 1 week eating out. I imagine 3 times a day for 6 years now. Yeah, that's up. Anyway, not good for you. Roman gods. These are ones we're going to be studying. We got the rock star gods. You know what? That would be funny if they took his car and clothes and left him walking down the yeah, like these guys did, right? Just like the old days when they would yeah, send you home naked, like in 2 Samuel. He got conquered by the enemy and they sent him home naked. Oh man. Oh, I thought of a funny joke for Christians, but they probably won't like it. But anyway, all right. So say you're you're a Christian and you die, and you get up to heaven, right? And you tell God that you say something like, God, it was really rough being a Christian. I don't know, my crops never did good, no matter how much I prayed to Jesus, and we couldn't have any children, and my finances weren't good at all. And then God would laugh and say, well, yeah, I saw that. You didn't use any of those other gods I sent you. I sent you God of the rain and God of the crops and God of the children. Yeah, I saw you weren't using any of them. I was kind of wondering why. Oh, man. Because there is like gods of crops, gods. Anyway, we're going to find out who these gods are, because they're a lot of them are Roman gods. I get them mixed up, but maybe we'll figure them out because I've never really studied them. Roman gods like Apollo, Mars, the rock star ones. Oh, you know what? Get this. So, I've been studying the ways of the wisdom of Buddha, and which is not a religion. It's a learning. It's a wisdom of learning how to. Really, it's a lot of stuff's in your mind. You know what I mean? But anyway, so with the teachings of Buddha, the wisdom, you can pray to any god that you want, I guess. If people still have their own god. But you know what I thought? Because it's thousands of years old, thousands, long before Jesus. And guess what? Buddha always had disciples. And so he had disciples long before Jesus had disciples. So disciples are not like a thing that's only related to Jesus. Buddha has disciples too that always are learning and learning and learning. But anyway, I always think it's funny because they always talk about when he's teaching his disciples. You know what I mean? And these Roman gods here, some of those had disciples too. So lots of for thousands and thousands of years, there's been disciples. Disciples are just students. You got your teacher and your students. And Jesus was a teacher, disciples were students. Buddha was a teacher, disciples were students. Which Buddha is not a god and Jesus is not a god. Well, some people think Jesus is a god, but anyway. So you always have the teacher and the students in these religions. But anyway, some of these Roman gods here, they also have disciples. And actually, some of them had 12 disciples, but you know that list that has all the December 25th gods, not all that is correct. Some of those did not have 12 disciples. Some of them say they had 12 disciples, but not all of those had 12 disciples. Anyway, but we'll start by tomorrow night by studying the big ones, the rock star Roman gods, like Jupiter, Mars, Apollo, Zeus. And they're funny because these are named after the planets are named after these gods, like Mercury, Jupiter, Mars, Pluto, Saturn, Venus. They're all Neptune. Look at that. Every one of these is and then of course we got we'll also of course have to mention the months of the Roman calendar and the days of the week on the Roman calendar, all Roman gods. And anyway, so it is kind of interesting what these Roman gods, how much influence they have on today, thousands of years later, on everything from our calendars to even the Gospels and the New Testament. And anyway, without people even knowing. And they should have taught this in school. Like if you were to learn this in junior high and high school, Roman gods and all that stuff, and then read the Bible, you'd say, wait a minute, there'd be red flagged. I mean, like, hey, wait a minute. Anyway, especially the demigods, which are a lot of them. I think most of them. Anyway, so I'm not sure who we'll start with tomorrow, but that is the plan. Yeah, well, John, something's going to catch up one of these days, you know what I mean? And what happens is people get bolder and bolder until they actually end up drawing the police's attention, which I think is the step he's at right now, drawing the police's attention. So now, yeah. And he's getting sloppier and sloppier, you know what I mean, with his shenanigans there. And, anyway, so anything else that you guys want to study? So after the Roman gods, I'm thinking also the Mesopotamian, their gods, which are like the first. Those are the first. Actually, it's supposed to be the first. What do they call it? Like the first known writing or language where people are. Because I guess like languages like broke out at different points in time in different parts of the world. So who knows? This country might be figuring out how to write a language in another country, but you wouldn't know because they're so far apart or whatever. So I don't know which languages were first, but Mesopotamian was one of the first to do like a communicating language where they. I forgot there's a name for it. Like a structured, language and alphabet or whatever. But anyway, so that would be interesting because 100% the Old Testament is drawn, lots of it, from the Mesopotamian writings. Like the Ten Commandments, like the story of the flood, Noah's flood. I think it's funny, everybody calls it Noah's flood, but it wasn't his flood. It depends who you ask. It was lots of people's floods. Hey, get out of there! Cat. Anyway. Yeah, I couldn't imagine driving to go do my dry my clothes when I got a dryer right here steps away. That makes no sense to me. Something's up with that bunk sometime, yeah. Nobody can go in there for some reason. So anyways, that will be the upcoming it'll be a while. Even if we study one of these gods a day, there's let me see. I pulled up a list. Roman gods. Roman god. Oh, that's right. They have goddesses too. They got girl gods. Hi D, how you doing? Welcome, shalom to D. Hope you had a wonderful Monday. All is good here. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Rome has gods and goddesses. That's right. They got girl gods too. As a matter of fact, I just saw something on Gnostic informant Neil put up a thing about the first god ever recorded on history record is a female god. Good to see you, D. I hope you're doing good. Awesome. It's beautiful out here. A little heavy on the mosquitoes, but it's been wonderful here. We had a little rain this morning, which was nice. Didn't amount to a lot, but it was after 12 lunchtime. It was done. But anyway, I hope you had a great, wonderful day. Yeah, Roman gods and goddesses. Let's see, you got 3, 6, 9, and 15 more. It's 25. Some of these are really going to be interesting. Some of these are really going to be interesting because they overlap with Christianity so much. Oh, D, I don't know. I don't know if you just to recap, because I know you're just coming in. Starting tomorrow, we're going to start studying Roman gods from Rome, Roman gods and goddesses. Like Apollo and Mars and Venus and Jupiter and all that. All the Roman gods. So we're going to start doing that tomorrow. This is what's upcoming. So there's like 12 major ones. So the 12 major Roman gods were Jupiter, Juno, Mars, Mercury, Neptune, Venus, Apollo, Diana, Minerva, Ceres, Vulcan, and Vesta. Jupiter held thunderbolts in his hands, which he could throw from the sky. You know what's weird? My next door neighbor growing up, she's my best friend growing up. Her name was Julie when I was really young. Her name was Julie, and her dad worked for Northern States Power, the electric company. And one day he got electrocuted and died. But anyway, they always had these like stickers and all these things that the dad had from work, and it was Harmon Kilowatt was a guy. It was like a cartoon guy, and he had two hands. He had lightning bolts in both hands. It's kind of funny because Jupiter has the same thing, a lightning bolt in both hands for the power company. You know what I mean? That'll be interesting. Yeah, keep in mind that many of them have multiple names too. Yes. Yes, true. That is true. Roman gods and goddesses. Jupiter, Juno, Saturn, Neptune, Pluto, Venus, Minerva, Mars. Huh. So anyway, we'll start that tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be interesting. You know why? Because you're gonna see where some of this overlaps into Christianity big time. Why? Because when Jesus came, he preached to the Jews, and he really didn't get a lot of converts because they knew the Old Testament. But when Paul came, he preached to the Gentiles, to the people, to the Gentiles, the nations who did not know the scriptures, and it was a hit with them. Why? Because he threw in a little Apollo here, a little Mars there, a little Jupiter, a little this and a little that, stuff they like. You threw in a little Elvis, a little Michael Jackson, a little, a little Rock Hudson. Are you going to speak of the moon goddess, Kathy? Am I going to speak of the moon goddess? There's a moon goddess named Kathy? Is there a moon goddess named Kathy? I don't think so. The moon goddess. Oh, Cynthia. Yes. Actually, thank you for reminding me. Grace is reminding me right now that the moon goddess name is Cynthia. Do you guys know that? Cynthia. Yeah, I get it now. I'm a little slow. Cynthia is the moon goddess. Did you guys know that? Yeah. Mark is the god of Mars. Mark Hardy, Mark, is the god of war, or Mars, or whatever, war. And Cynthia is the moon goddess. Thank you for reminding me. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, yeah, that's probably why they get along so well. Didn't know that? Yeah, Cynthia is the moon goddess, and Mark is the god of war, Mars, which is the god of war. Yeah. So we're going to learn about these Roman gods and goddesses because, like I say, they're going to ring bells when it comes to the New Testament. Especially, well, I was going to say especially the Gospels, but also in Paul's writings, you'll see pagan stuff in there, but, mostly that's why they had to tweak the Gospels and take Mark and then add, turn Luke and Matthew had to turn it into a Roman pagan god story because nobody liked the Jewish story. There was no turning water into wine and like John did. And look at John. Look at you go, boy. He's turning water into wine in his story. And look at everybody likes John. Right. Everybody likes because the pagan, they love Dionysus. I mean, Dionysus, he was the rock star at the time. And yeah, throwing a little water into wine, I'm all in. Count me in. Dionysus, man, put a wreath around your head like a thorn of crowns, except it's a wreath and a big cup of wine, and take this cup of wine from me and make the cup pass from me and all that. Water and wine and stuff? Oh, heck yeah. I'm in. Yeah. So anyway, I was thinking about starting with the Mesopotamian. That's not on. We're going to start with the Roman gods because that's where your influence is really big time on New Testament. Yes, Jim Morrison is compared to Dionysus because that's who what this movement in the 1960s, the movement was all really in the spirit of Dionysus. Dionysus was a god of wine and partying and sex and music. And what was the 60s? Sex, drugs, rock and roll, drinking, drugging, and sex and music. And that's what Dionysus was. And what did Dionysus do? Put the wreath around their head. What did Jim Morrison do? Put a wreath around his head. I think Janis Joplin even had a wreath around her head. I don't know, but they were doing it. They were channeling the god of Dionysus. You know what I mean? And what did Jim Morrison do? Apparently, died of alcohol. Did he drown in his tub or something from drinking? too much wine or something. He over channeled Dionysus, and so did Jimi Hendrix. Died on his back, supposedly of drinking too much, and so they over channeled Dionysus, I guess. Personally, I think I don't know. I think they might have. I think the music industry might have had something to do with that anyway, but another story, huh? Yeah, so they did that. The 60s was channeling Dionysus totally. What was it? It was drinking, it was music, and it was sex, and that was the theme of the 60s: partying and sex and rock and roll. That was Dionysus. So yeah, they channeled, and I mean, just look at Woodstock. Woodstock is just like you're over there in Greek Dionysus, like you're in Rome over there back in the day. I mean, anyway, it turned the nation into a different direction. That's for sure. Rebellious is what it was. It was rebellion against the parents, rebellion against authority, rebellion against getting up and going to work, rebellion against everything, adulthood, everything, just rebellion. Anyway, all right. Well, otherwise, guys, I'm gonna get off of here for tonight. We will start our Roman God studies tomorrow night and go from there. It'll probably be a few weeks in that. So, unless anything else you guys want to say, I see a mosquito on my wall. A couple of them on my wall. But I just painted, so I don't want to like smash them. I'm going to get them somehow. All right, well, before I go, I was, I was listening to, I really like that family that got the dad's got Alzheimer's, and they're showing how to deal with your somebody at home with Alzheimer's. Well, anyway, him and his wife just did a live stream. Grandpa was off like eating or something. I don't know, but he was in the background here and there. But anyway, the guy was a lawyer and he had a heart attack. He's in his 50s. When somebody asked him if he ever had a client freak out in the courtroom, he said, "Yeah, people freak out." He said one guy in particular. He said, "This is all public knowledge, it's public record. Happened a while ago, so it's not confidential." But he said he had a guy one time that he was a defense attorney. He said he had a guy that was accused of attempted murder on like his spouse or something, girlfriend or whatever. And the whole court case had something to do with like she tried to spray bug spray in his mouth or something like that. So she attacked him with bug spray, and then he tried to kill her. And he's trying to say it's self-defense. So anyway, and they had a deal all worked out where the judge and the prosecutor, everybody had this deal worked out where the guy was going to serve. They were going to do a swab on the. They did a swab on the inside of the guy's cheek, and they said, okay, so if the swab came back, the swab that they did that day, if it comes back and had bug spray on the swab, then you'll get 1 year, and if there's no bug spray on the swab from that was in your mouth, then you'll get 3 years or something like that. And they said, well, then they came to court, and he said the prosecutor, he said he knows the guy. He went to school with them, and the guy said, hey, the swab came back inconclusive, so he's got to get the whole 3 years. And then he said, oh, I'll go tell him. And they went in the back room and told the guy, and the guy just lost it, went crazy about the swab test or whatever. And anyway, he fired him. and wanted a different attorney, and ended up going to trial. He ended up getting 15 years, and he served like 7 of it, like half of it. Anyway, that was so weird. Like bug spray in the mouth. Anyway, that is a interesting family. Hey, I got some cat action up here. You get 2 of them. 2 of them that don't get along. They're getting a little better, but not face to face. They don't. Anyway, all right, guys, I'm gonna sign off and do a few things, and then I'll be back on tomorrow with some Roman study of Roman gods. Sounds like an interesting study plan ahead. Thank you. Well, thank you, Grace. Yep. Yeah. All right. Huh. All right. I'm trying to get my thing up real quick so I can scroll through my comments again. All right, good night to you too. All right. Thank you, Father, for gathering us this evening. Glory goes to you. Amen. Good night to Dee and Grace and John and anybody else that listened. And I hope you all have a good rest of the evening. Have an awesome Tuesday. And I hope to see you tomorrow night. Anyway, have a good Tuesday, everybody. Thanks for being here. And good night to everybody. Peace, shalom, and good night.